Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Ma'am, shall
Good
we start?
afternoon, ma'am.
Yes,
Good
ma'am.
afternoon, students. Okay,
Yes,
if our expert is with us.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, sir. Welcome.
Very,
Sir,
very
Good afternoon, everyone. I guess we have still students to join. They'll keep joining. So before we start today's session, let me introduce today's speaker to us. To me also, because I'm not familiar with Saurabh sir. So today we have with us Dr. Saurabh Agrawal, Assistant Professor in English, Government Shastri Sanskrit College, Sri Madhopur, Jaipur. Sir has been associated with teaching for many years. I do not exactly know because sir did not share his profile. So I cannot say for how many years he has been in this profession. Dr. Agrawal is a very popular personality in Bikaner, although I have not met Sir personally, but I have heard a lot about Sir. Sir has been serving his knowledge to students for preparation of NET, SET, RPSC college lectureship, etc. What I have got to know about Sir. His students are successfully establishing many institutes of higher education. Sir is equally proficient in language and literature. Dr. Agrawal has been working with full devotion for his profession, and he is equally conversant in Hindi and English. Sir, I am telling all this from my general knowledge. Like we do not know what is Thar ka Marostal, but we read in books. Similarly, we just have heard so many things about you. Just I have tried to prepare 10 to 12 lines for you. And despite all the qualities and qualifications he possesses, Dr. Saurav Agrawal still considers himself as a scholar, and Sir is always on the path of seeking knowledge. Uh, he always seeks to be proficient in new eras of learning. He is a very supportive teacher and a conscious student all the time. Having a huge appetite to read, he has an insatiable desire for knowledge. So, we are actually lucky to hear you in this course, sir. Me and my students will definitely gain something for you today. So, I welcome you on the behalf of MS College, Department of English, MS College, and organizing committee of this course, and on behalf of all our students. Welcome, sir.
uh, well, you have robbed me of words by this stupendous introduction, and I think I have done a right thing by not giving any details. Because if I have given the details, you would have just dry painted my career. But rather, now I have, even I was not aware of so many qualities that I possess. It's nothing like that. And yes, I'm proud of one fact that I belong to Bikaner, and though not directly, but indirectly, I am also attached with this institute, MS College. Um, when I finished my PG from Dungar College, at that time, Neelam Rai Singhani ma'am was HOD of Dungar College, and Krishna Tomar ma'am was HOD of MS College, both being great teachers and mentors. The whole batch of both Dungar College and MS College, they were privileged because there was nothing like two colleges, two classes. We all were uniform bunch, and we all have this grace of those great teachers to be guided by them. But yes, regarding these things, that really it's nothing like that. I don't like to be called a teacher or something like that, because I think myself and I find myself and I know that I'm still a young scholar, young not maybe in years, but young in knowledge and experience. It was in fact an opportunity to harness myself to new topics whenever such type of platform is given to you. There is an opportunity to understand, to reevaluate your skills, and when Himanshu ma'am just told me that I have to prepare a lecture, I was excited and full of enthusiasm because for a long time we are away from such academic activities due to reasons we all are aware of. And may I have this knowledge that most of the students are they from PG classes or UG classes?
Most of them are from UG classes, but we have one or two students from PG classes also.
Okay, okay. So let us assume that they are new to this exposure, they are new in this field. And keeping this point in my mind, I have prepared a presentation on social media and communication. Before going to that particular PPT, let me say hello to all dear students, dear friends, dear co-learners, and I hope you are going to enjoy this session. This is dream of basically every learner that whatever he or she shares, that may be able to go across. Well, the topic we will see today is the one which we are very well aware of, which we utilize, which we use daily in our lives, and that is social media. My dear young friends, the presentation will be rather formal and other things included, but on the informal level, I must say you something because it's not in the capacity of a teacher or something like that, but just with an experience. That it's this social media is a two-edged weapon. It's a very it's very it has great utility, but also it is very dangerous thing if we handle it carelessly or in a casual manner. It may harm our potential, our there are so many risks involved in this social media. We always learn and read and hear and see in news items that how financially and other ways also people are duped and exploited through this medium. My presentation is not about these harms because they are of very different caliber and different approach. I would try to just summarize the basic concept of social media and would try to make you people participate in this presentation also. So I am just putting on to my presentation now, and please confirm if you are able to watch and share this because
Yes, sir. We
okay,
can see it.
okay, now is it visible?
Yes, sir. We can see it.
Okay, 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 okay. So I'm going through this presentation, which is social media and communication, and this particular presentation will talk about various various aspects related with social media. First of all, dear friends, what is communication? I know and I hope that in previous classes or in other forms also, this question may have been put to you, and you are rather, feeling very bored that once again, this is what is communication. And maybe looking at picture, you may think, oh, sir have done a mistake. He has put a traffic system instead of some diagram, particular diagram, sender receiver code message. No, no, no. uh, I make a lot of mistakes in my presentation, but this is not the time one. This is communication. The picture you are seeing in front of you, this is actually real life communication. There are a lot of highways, there are a lot of subways, there are a lot of controllers, but more than all these things, there are communicators. And this results in, as you can see, clashes. Clashes in communication. We can even, if you all belong to Bikaner and have been to some of our roads like KM Road and Railway Station Road, and you can understand this jam scenario very easily. that how everyone tries to get ahead, how everyone tries to make a way for himself or herself. This is what really communication is. We are not talking about theoretical or bookish definition. We are talking about real life communication. We all want to say what we want to say without giving our ears to what others want to say, because there is basically an inherent fear that we may be left out, we may be left unheard. So there is a hurry, there is, we can say, a kind of thing that, no, listen to me first. Most of you have said without knowing this thing, this phrase which we call in pehle meri suno. This giving emphasis to communicate ourselves, it has been enhanced more by the advent of social media. Okay. uh, in very simple terms, communication is nothing but transfer of message. Now, we have to understand one fact here, that message is a very, very vague term. It's not so simple as we think, that message is what we call in Hindi sandesh, or what we call in typical formal language a coded language, a coded text. No, message is in real life also. Uh, it's only not only the words, it's not only the pictures and other things. Messages are everywhere. If you know about this beautiful English idiom, writing on the wall, it also tells about the message. And in fact, in our life, everything is message. You may have heard, may have seen in many movies, may have heard in books, may have heard in talks of your elders, that this is a message from God. So, what is this? Message transfer means there are basically two agency. One first agency is one who wants to say, who wants to point out, who wants to provide some information, and there is second agency. This second agency, dear friend, is basically, the second agency is that object, this the aim towards which the message is directed. But between this first agency and the second agency, there is an agent. This agent is very important. This agent is basically, it may be language, for example, written language or oral message. But this agent is much more than language. It can be a sign, a symbol, icon, index, advertisement, video, feeling, gesture, anything, action. All these things are, um, two presidents or two heads of state are meeting. One raises his or her hand, the other doesn't raises his or her hand. It is an action, but the medium is not language, it is gesture. So basically, transfer of message means there is a sender in typical language, there is a receiver, and there is an agent. This agent is, dear friends, in earlier times, if you remember that famous song from Maine Pyar Kiya, Kabutar Ja Ja Ja, even there is a letter, obviously, but Kabutar is also the agent, then postman is also an agent, then we have our language, the basic agent. But now with social media, the role of agent, the mode of agent has also changed, and changed for good, because now language, if it is a boon for humanity, it may also prove to be sometimes very difficult thing to handle. So this social media has solved many problems which come with the package of languages. Now, if when we talk about this communication, when we talk about this sender and receiver, this kind of thing, we have to remember that this channelization, this flowing of message from one point to other point, may have many routes. Remember the first slide and our traffic sign. Once again, I would like to take you people to this traffic scene. You may have witnessed one way traffic. One way traffic is that there is only one way going, the other side is blocked. Similarly, in communication, also there is one way communication. Now, one way communication, there is a sender and there is a target. You can see this particular arrow. It means information is flowing from sender to the target, but the target is not giving any feedback or any response. It is not that the target is not willing, but it is that the channel is closed. The channel is only one way. So, facts, knowledge, information, ideas, and feelings, these are sent, these are given, and the target tries to understand. He or she perceives, he or she responds and receives. This method is one way, but it doesn't guarantee successful communication. In fact, at present, our Google Meeting is also a one way communication. I'm speaking, and in fact, virtually speaking. Even I don't know how many of you have just signed in and put away your devices aside and doing something else. I know this because I also do this a lot of time. My children, both of my children, they attend their classes in this great learning mode by turning their phone on, attending the class, and then doing their special jobs. So we can say that this is a very primitive mode of communication, but it in real. Yes.
Excuse me, sir. We are still on the first slide. Have you not switched on to the next slide?
Oh, I have switched on, but is it not visible?
We are still seeing the first
Okay,
slide.
okay, okay. Let me try do this thing. Now,
Yes, sir.
Yes,
What
sir.
is communication?
okay. You should have told me earlier. Uh,
Okay.
should I repeat it, or the picture makes it? My audio was I audible all the time?
Yes, sir, you were
Yes,
audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then just go through this picture and try to understand. Okay, this was the traffic system I was talking about, and you don't need to look at this picture. Just visualize in your mind going through Station Road or KM Road, and or even after a monsoon rain going to Ginani, coming to MS College. All these scenes will be very clearly visible to you. Okay, then now the third slide, is it visible?
yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
this I basically told about the transfer of message, nothing special about it. And we are on this slide, and I was talking about one way communication, which is similar to, we can say, one way traffic. Now, if we try to find some examples of one way communication in our daily life, in our real life, advertisements, how they are one way communication. You may have seen large scale holdings on, we can say, on our roads and placards, even TVs, in magazines, carry with them some subtle messages. Obviously, they endorse a particular brand, they promote a particular product and brand. But also with them, there is a message. Message maybe for a specific age group, for a specific gender, maybe for particular community, class, or it may for everyone. This is one way communication because the advertisement maker is not getting the feedback that whether the purpose of advertisement is solved or not. Yes, there are back mechanisms like surveys. There are many survey agencies who input survey that whether you like the advertisement of the company or not, and then there are other factors also. But basic thing is that when a viewer or when a reader watch or see a particular advertisement, he or she is just able to digest it. Whether he or she likes it or not, they are not able to register their response. Similarly, TV programs or movies, you may feel about them, and you can talk with your friends or talk with your colleagues and family and other members about how you felt about that particular TV program. You may also write a review to be published in some magazine or on some other media also. But who was the initial sender of the message? That is the makers of the show or the producer. They are directly not involved in the communication with you. And as I have already told, boring lectures, they are one of the finest example and best example of one-way communication, where a teacher or he or she stands on a particular platform and delivers their lecture. The student may actually be sleeping or maybe sitting agaping, but they are not able to provide. And even if the teacher at that time tries to get a response from them, the students are not able to give them, because as I already told you, that if language is a boon, it may also prove to be a curse. The concepts the teacher wants to clear or wants to give students some thought about, he may or she may not be able to use the exact language that is required to for the clarification of that concept. So this is all about our one way communication. A bit evolved, we can say more developed concept of communication is two-way communication. Two-way communication is one of the most visible form of communication in our daily lives. All we can say, from our waking hours to our sleeping hours, we mostly are involved in a two-way communication. It's a very simple mechanism. There is a sender, then the message is sent, there is a receiver, the receiver response is once again, and now when the receiver responds, he becomes a sender or she becomes a sender. Once again, the original sender becomes the receiver, he or she receives the response, then there is reply to that response, and the circle goes on and on and on. This is two-way communication. It is both give and take. uh, as I have mentioned, that it is one of the most visible form of communication in our daily lives. This involves chatting. Not only I'm talking about social media chatting on WhatsApp or other platforms, but even when we are communicating, when we are conversing with our colleagues, friends, and others, we are always having this I say, you say, I say, you say. If we talk about some other forms that are not so formal, counseling being one. Counseling is that there is a counselor, he may or she may be the doctor, the psychiatrist, the career counselor. There are so many counseling going on, and they ask you specific questions regarding the particular problem or particular interest, and you respond, and then on the basis of that response, the counselor moves further. um, I have involved a rather curious category, FB, Facebook, or Insta posts. I know all of you are very much aware of this particular category of communication, and some of you may think why I have put it into two-way communication system. Well, it is exactly not two-way communication system. It may be, we can say more precisely, one-way communication system, because you post a particular picture, a particular message, anything. So you are the author. But uh, FB and Insta also allows comments. So this comment sometimes and often than not, involves a lot of repartees, lot of answer and response and counter response, and it goes on and on. I am not a very frequent visitor of both FB and Insta, but some of my friends and some of my co-learners do this lot of time, and this I basically watch as a scholar how they do interact on FB and Insta. The original purpose, there should be, we can say, response to a particular picture, photograph, or something real, insta reel, or it is put behind, it is put aside, and something not related to that particular matter catches up, and I'm able to connect it, what I witnessed during my bus journeys. Travelers talking about various topic, they start talking on some, we can say, policy making issue, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Modi ji, and anything else, and the chat takes a route like, we can say, a river of monsoon. There are so many twists and turns, but the chat goes on. So in this manner, we can say FB and Insta posts, they are also sort of two-way communication. So we come to freeway communication. So freeway communication is, we can say, the spice and pepper of our life. It gives us an opportunity to give vent. My dear friends, freeway communication, it may not be a model of communication, it may not be, we can say, the best way to communicate, it may not convey the message in most effective manner, but let me tell you, on the basis of studies done by various scholars, that when we communicate in a group without waiting for response, without giving answer to a particular response, we are feeling more relaxed. Now this is a bit, you can say, a psychological kind of thing, because you are not taking the full responsibility of your communication, of your message, and this gives you a chance to unload your hidden, we can say, desires, your, we can say, those things which are laying just on the surface of subconscious, coming to your tongue but never got uttered in one two way talk, but in the crowd, in the whispers, in the, we can say, aside laugh, you are able to give vent to those utterances, to those thoughts, to those very words which you will not when you are in a private conversation with one to one. This is rather, we can say, a different definition of freeway communication. Otherwise, if you want to imagine what a freeway communication is, that you can imagine the scenario of a classroom full of students. Unfortunately, a lot of time has gone by. We have seen those great classrooms full of students, teacher not there, and everybody giving their opinion about everything. So those classrooms, this is a freeway communication. Then there are more, we can say, specific example. If you want to take, there is Bikaner City Chalk. You may be very much aware of this word pata, and because I also belong basically to Bikaner, and there is one word in Shekhawati region, Patalai. Patalai also come from this pata. People talking in leisure way, in very free manner, sitting relaxed, as if the world has come to an end. There is nothing urgent to do. And there is, if we talk about social media, there also we have an option of freeway communication, group chat, whether it is in WhatsApp, Telegram, or some other, you can name other platform. I have also been a participant and a witness of this group chat, and once again, this thing I have seen, how people communicate. There is a banter, there is, we can say, sarcasm, there is insults, abuses, everything going on, just like Raj Kachori. You can imagine this example also. Okay, this was all basically about communication, and all these factors applied not only on social media but all facets of communication, all types of communication. If we talk about particularly about social media, it's a very beautiful cartoon. Let me clear one thing, that none of these is my hard work. I have just taken the help of our great treasure internet and stole these pictures from there. So I found this very very apt image. Social media. Actually, media or medium is a very old word which means a way for something. And if you think it in terms of media, it means my way. So these are icons of various social media websites, many of which you are aware of, like Facebook, where you say like me, or is it Twitter, then listen to me, or is it, there are in shorts, hire me, YouTube, watch me. Even I don't know many ones. This is Pinterest, which is a picture sharing social media. Then there is Snapchat. Then there is I think that is for you people are more familiar with these things. So basically, social media has created a space for even those people, even those persons who are generally considered to be introvert in their routine life. By introvert, I mean that whenever there were chances in classrooms or other places of society, they basically were very shy to share their ideas, their opinions. It has provided them a platform where they can remain unseen, they can remain hidden, but still they can share their ideas. Even they can hide their true identity. They can fake their identity. They can pose as someone else and share their ideas. And you all know more than me that it is a real practice on both FB and other platforms that we fake our identities. The reason is very simple. We want to show me, the me which is likable, the me which is presentable, the me which is social, the me which I want me to become. So because I know that I'm not that me, I create an identity which is likable, which is socially hit. So social media has basically become, we can say, a hunt of all those those persons living generally behind the curtains, to peep, to lurk, and to show yes, they also have a voice. This is a great advantage of social media. I don't know the impact, or the impact on their personalities, whether it is profitable or harmful in long run, but I understand that at least they have a voice which can be heard. Social media, if we talk about in formal terms, is a collective term for application that focus on communication, interaction, and basically uh, um, content sharing. Content sharing is also important. There are forums, micro blogging, social networking, social curation, wikis, among the different types of social media. You can see in this particular pictures also, you can share pictures, you can micro blogging sites like Twitter, weblogs, where you can the latest fad, or we can say fashion and vogue among the teenagers and professional is vlog, video logging. Then there are networking chats. This is most easily accessible. Even our parents and grandparents who have, rather we can say, mischievous hate towards gadgets, even they like to take on a selfie or two time to time. Then we have community based social apps. Then we have bookmarking apps. Podcast is also a very effective and an emerging media forum where you can present an entire lecture, or we can say anything else, and it is once again considered now. Even on social media we can see a hierarchy. A hierarchy means that there are higher kind of apps and there are lower kind of apps. I I visualize that after a time, people will say, just like when they say, which phone do you use? They are asking about brand. And if you say Apple, Samsung, and something like that, which ranges between 15,000 upwards, they say, oh, that's good. And if you say something like some Chinese product, carbon, or they say, oh, why don't you change the phone? Because there is an hierarchy in the market regarding brands. Similarly, there is Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter. Among these is considered to be an elite kind of social site where even the great statesmen also. You may have heard that Prime Minister tweeted this, but you may not have heard about this. The Prime Minister has a WhatsApp chat group. This shows that yes, social media also have an hierarchy. So all these kind of things, they are part of social media. Now, social media, initially it was used just for informal communication. I hope that you understand the basic difference between informal and formal communication. We communicate formally when we are talking in official, or we can say a kind of formal, where a particular form of behavior is expected from us. When we are doing that, when we are writing an application to the principal for to waive off our fees, when we are communicating between departments, between institutes, between government bodies, all these are formal communication. Initially, social media was, apart from emails, social media was not used for formal communication. Yes, it was very much an informal platform where friends, relatives, colleagues, they meet and they share their opinions informally. But gradually, social media has also acquiring the rights to share formal kind of information. uh, I may be, you can say, not exactly correct when I say this, but the reason I say this, that even because I also held an administrative post, sometimes I receive emails later and WhatsApp communication earlier. And my head of department, he basically sends me a WhatsApp attachment and says, do this, and I just write the responsive message in the WhatsApp itself, and respond on the WhatsApp itself and say to him, replies to him, done, sir. So what is this? The WhatsApp is used between a head of department and an employee to communicate formally. It is not good morning message. It is not how are you, sir. It is typical departmental dealing, which was earlier done on paper. Then, to an extent, it was done through the medium of email. But we can now see that even on WhatsApp, I have seen and I have received relieving orders on WhatsApp. It's not that it is only done on WhatsApp. The formal process, the written paper, it follows. But yes, communication and action is done on social media also. So it has become a medium for all types of communication. That is why its scope is now so varied and so large. It has also come into the, we can say, the eyes of government. They want to regulate it more properly. Okay. There is some general information if you want to note down. This is not something which I basically I have made something. It is different types of social media networks, like social networks which are very popular: Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. Media sharing, where you can share videos like Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube. There are discussion forums, Reddit, Quora, Dick. If you are not familiar with these things, there you can put a query, put a question, and there is a team of expert. You may yourself may be an expert. Anybody can answer anybody's query. So it's a discussion forum. Then bookmarking and content curation, depending upon your interest, whether it is Pinterest. So it's a very beautiful combination of word pinning and interest. You can pin your interesting things, like you like food recipes, you like English vocab, you like something else. You can go there, search your boards, and then you can find beautiful sharings and worthy sharings. Flipboard is the similar curation network. Consumer review network, they are basically what I discussed earlier, that sometimes advertisement have a back channel to get the response. Yelp, TripAdvisor, Zomato, these all allow you to give your responses, to give your feedback of a particular product, of a particular experience, and they curate it, and then they put ratings according to their reviews. Even in online shopping platforms like Amazon and Flipkart, you find the same mechanism where you can write review of a particular product. It has also its you can say cons, because generally people they are paid to write false reviews, and naive customers, they purchase products going through these reviews. Then we have blogging and publishing networks. These are very useful to all you people. WordPress, where you can create your own website, Tumblr and Medium. These there you can publish your own content. There are many more these days. Like you may have heard of one, Your Quote, where you can write a quote, put your name and publish it and share it. So all kind of social media is going on. It is increasing the, you can say, the variety, the manner, mode of content you can share, the number of people you can share with. All these things are increasing, and so are the apps through which you can communicate with your society. This is the landscape of social media. There are you can publish, share, discuss, social network, microblog, live stream, live cast, virtual worlds, social games. Even now this interaction which we are doing at present, it is also social media. But once again, which we have done, I have forgotten to mention it, even our classroom, which are considered to be a formal academic activity, they are going on through the help of social media. Not only, once again, we have lot of applications. Zoom is there, Google Meet is there. There may be so many more. So you can see its pervasive influence. Social media is everywhere. I will now come to the more relevant topic, which is language on social media. Why it is so appealing to the young people, why it appeal to youth more, and why the purists are basically irritated by the growing use of social media. First of all, the language that we find on social media is hybrid. When you say that a language is hybrid, you basically want to convey that it is not use of one particular language. You see many examples of English. Now, English itself has become a language. So I would rather say some more words like Punglish, mixture of Punjabi and English. You find it. You also find that people write mixture of language plus images. We will come to here. We will come to it here. Shortcut. Shortcut means abbreviated language. You don't want to write good night, GOOD space NIGHT, in which G capital and N capital. Old people like me still take a lot of time typing the message because we pay focus on all the, we can say, these things of grammar, punctuation, and like these things. But younger ones, they write good G, I think G, D, and NI, and numerical 8. So good night and welcome, WLCM. This is basically short kid language, and they are able to communicate so much faster than how we communicate on paper, how we communicate in other forms. So this is one of the we can say key advantage of social media. Then emote icons. A few years back, I presented a paper, and in that paper, when I was preparing this one also, I remembered one particular lecture. It was on how we started communicating with each other with the help of gestures, and then we came to drawings. Later, drawings changed into simple alphabets, and thus we have evolved our languages. But looking at social media, it seems that the circle is now complete. Instead of saying, I'm happy, I'm sad, I don't understand what you say, instead of writing so many letters, typing so many keys, I put an emoji. It's there are a lot of emojis now. The companies, now the apps have provided other features like stickers, animated stickers, gifs. These are also there. So this is also important. Message is there, communication is there, but the role of language is getting less. Stickers and GIFs. And the last quality of this language is hip. Pardon me if I say to you people, the younger ones, that your language is not the language which I use with my colleagues and which I use with my parents. Basically, still, the language of my parents and language used by me is almost similar. Almost we have the same line. But the language used by me and the language used by my children is lot different. There are a lot of differences. Their language include words which we can't imagine saying in front of our mother or father. So by hip, don't mean to say that it is very, you can say, rock star language. By hip means, in the words of this younger generation, it is very cool. It consists of those words. It consists of slangs, phrases coined by them. Chutneyfication, this is a phrase used by Salman Rushdie in different contexts, but I also use this word chutneyfication. They have made their language spicier. They have made their language, we can say, more suitable to only, we can say, communicate in a very intimate and close circle of friends, which the previous generation, my generation can never think of. So these are some features of language on social media. And now we come to the last part of this lecture. The latest, we can say, trend in social media, it is memes. Memes have emerged as one of the primary methods of communication on the internet. More and more time is spent online. Memes have become the perfect vehicle for facilitating information, humor, and opinion. In fact, the term meme itself comes from mima, which is a Greek term, which the students of literature from PG, they know about this term, mimesis. Aristotle, Plato, they both have worked on it. And this particular meme term was coined by a biologist, Richard Dawkins, in his work, The Selfish Gene. Memes have gone from somewhat underground form of casual humor. Initially, they used to be. Now they have become everyday part of social interaction. This is me, which I have made. for this particular class. What is a meme? Meme is mimesis, or we can say imitation. This is the template. This particular the left side there is a template, and on the right side you can put your message. Teaching on board with students dozing on benches, teaching online with students sleeping comfortably at home. This is what I created when I made this lecture. So it is so easy. You have an idea, you have an board. You don't need to draw, or you don't need to create a cartoon. Everything is ready made, just like those ready made kind of things you buy from market and come home and cook them. There is even noodles which was considered 2 minutes Maggie. Now even that is also ready made. You have to pour just hot water. Then there are all kind of ready made things. Meme is also a ready made platform where you just have to put your idea and create a meme. Okay, friends, this was all what I want to share my opinions regarding social media. But now I will give you two, we can say, this templates. These are called templates. You can do one thing. You can create your own idea and put them on this. This is one of very popular memes. I know you all have seen different memes on this particular template. Make a meme on this, and then make a meme on this. I will share this with you. Either I will try to share it. And the only thing which I would like to mention now, this any communication can become effective only if we have an originality of thought, if we have something original to say. It's not that the idea should totally be original. You may borrow it, you may imitate, you may take it from any source, but don't just cut, copy, paste. It's very, you can say, it's very unfortunate that social media has given rise to this mediocrity, where we forward messages without sometimes even looking at them. You all must have suffered from this good morning message in the morning, and you, many of you or most of you, are also culpable, including me for a long time, of forwarding those good morning messages to other groups. What I don't understand, what I fail to understand is that why don't we give a minute and think, if I have received this message in the group, why can't others in others group may have received the same message? Instead of just it's hilarious, it's very funny, but people even copy paste same to you, happy birthday, because there is an icon of this back arrow icon which shows that the message is forwarded from other source. So you come to know that, oh my god, the same person cannot type even 5 to 6 letters or an emote icon of his or her own. So this is my only suggestion, that whenever you are active on social media, try to write your own thoughts, try to create your own identity, and you will find that it is really helpful to you. Okay, I hope I have given you what was supposed to be the gist of this lecture. Thank you all for be here listening to me. You can visit me on my YouTube channel also, Electricity. I hope I have come up to your expectation, and I hope and wish to meet you again, even on the virtual platform. Thank you, friends.
Thank you, sir. And I must say that the connection between social media and communication has been defined very effectively by you in this lecture. And I must also, add that the slides were beautifully designed, sir. It was really, I was just enjoying looking at those slides. It's very beautiful. Your hard work was visible in those slides. It was very beautiful. And yes, as sir suggested, that social media is the platform for better communication. It is easy to learn everything nowadays. We must grasp these opportunities. We must go for it. We must not lose the time in just, making friends and typing English and communicating in a way which is not effective. So rather, we can learn so many things. So, and this is a platform for those who want to learn, and but they find it difficult to communicate in public. They can go online and practice there, and especially for reading and writing skills, the social media platform works very well, and you can improve yourself there. So thank you so much, sir, for such an entertaining and interesting session. And I must conclude that it was really super cool. And on this occasion, we cannot forget that one of your students is in the organizing committee of this course. So I request Dr. Himanshu Kanpal to say a few words before we sign out for today. Dr. Kanpal.
Welcome, sir. It is very interesting listening you, and you have taught me, sir, too. And it's always a privilege listening you here after such a long time. Sir, I learned a lot from you, and thank you, a big thank you for accepting our invitation. Thank you for this wonderful session, sir. And I always praise your dedication and hard work with which you teach your students, with which you prepare your students for their future success, sir. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot, sir, to be here with us. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. And we would like to have your YouTube link too, the link of your YouTube channel. So please share it with us. And we would like to hear again from you in the future. Thank you so much, sir. And thank you, students, for the patient listening. I hope and I believe that you must have enjoyed this session. So see you tomorrow, 3 o'clock. We have another very popular personality with us tomorrow, Dr. Umakant Vyas. See you tomorrow. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.